you know. But I was thinking last night about the fact that the only person who's ever wanted to marry me was the child molester.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's weird. Yeah, yeah. I don't know how to reflect that one as
It is weird, right? It is like
you take my
people ask why you don't fuck with a Gen Xer.
will you take my hand? Can I take your hand in marriage so we can make children sweet, succulent, beautiful? Around here, you nasty.
Yeah, I mean, I was a child at the time, right? So,
Yeah.
you know,
Ugh.
yeah, yeah.
No.
But he was the only one who's ever wanted to marry me, and I was thinking about that last night, and I was like, and honestly, when he said that, and then he got me this stupid fake ring, and then I thought in my head, oh God, for the rest of my fucking life with this guy.
He was church people, right?
Yeah, he was church people.
Was the guilt of what he was doing was more guilt of doing it out of wedlock than doing it at all. So
Agree.
that's what that was. I'm trying to lock you down so then I can have a bunch of sex with this young person. He's
Yeah.
nasty.
Yeah, and I was just like, I remember at that moment, it was the first, like, of my spinster stirrings. My 13-year-old self was just like, oh, I gotta get out of this somehow. That's.
I felt a way. I'll have to say there was a period in my very early 40s where I felt a way. I was like, hey, I need to what is. There's nothing wrong with me. I've seen a variety of failed relationships. The relationships that I've seen that have lasted the longest are between two very unhappy people.
Yeah.
And at the same time, here I am about to go have dinner later tonight with my ex. And we're going to have a nice time. We're going to have a nice snack. It's like, you meet people. There are certain people who are with you on your travels in life. And sometimes that is people you're in relationships with. But it's not fundamental to me to have that type of relationship.
Yeah.
If it lands in my if I find one who I can penguin with and walk side by side with for a long time, that's great. But I know the pain that comes with that ending. I know the pain that comes with that going sour. And I know the pain with that sometimes, again, having seen it, with that going well. There's pain with that going well sometimes. Where you are just like, ugh, ugh. Have you ever woke up with someone and you just wake up and just, ugh. You look at their face, it's like, ugh, blah.
Yeah.
There's a comedian, Robin Harris, who said he kept his ring on the wrong finger because he married the wrong goddamn woman. Sometimes when he would come home from work, he would hope the ambulance was just pulling her body out the house. But I'm like, that sucks to be in that type of arrangement. And so many want to have that thing, but Cinderella's not always it. Not Cinderella, but the Indian, the Prince Charming, and the Sleeping Beauty, and all that shit. That's very uncommon. That's why it's a fairy tale. Like,
Agree.
Relationships take work, and relationships, sometimes you find out after a amount of time you're not in a relationship with the person you're supposed to be in a relationship with, and relationships have a lot of weird regret, and it has a lot of weird, like, I could have done this, but I was right here fucking with you. It's too much, so.
Agreed.
I can go do thing, date who I like to date, be with who I want to be with, and if somebody matches with me, great, let's roll, and if not, you can take your ass on over there. I'd rather have a series of relationships where we had a good thing going, and we figured out, okay, that wasn't the thing, but thank you a lot for the ride, and we're on good terms, and it's still a person I have some type of connection with. But yes, I'd rather have that than someone who I've had a long relationship with, and it's just kind of like, once it goes somewhere, or once it goes where it's gonna go, I'm just like,
Yeah, I mean, honestly, after sharing a room with Joy for like 20 years, I never want to hear another person breathing in my space again.
Nigga, I don't mean to be using N-bombs, but dude, yes.
That's exactly it. It's just like one sibling will kill it for you, bitch. Like, you just don't, you can't.
Mm-hmm.
You, like, I like just hearing someone else eat, just hearing someone else breathe. It's just, it's like, it's.
And in what ways? Because now I have to be extra confident. The last person I dated for a good period of time. We dated for about 3 or 4 months. He's a wonderful person. I wasn't a match for this person, and I knew when we started that this person wasn't a match for me either. But again, I mean, it did penny in for a pound, so I was in it. Let's see what happened. So we finally broke up and stuff, and I realized, like, he had to deal with my sleep apnea.
Right.
I'm like, little shit like that. I felt embarrassed about that. So I'm like, I shouldn't feel embarrassed because I have a sleeping disorder. I should just deal with my sleep disorder, whatever. When I'm waking up, it's like, I thought you were going to die. I was like, no, I just sleep loud, dude.
I mean, that is actually, I have sleep apnea too, and that is you dying in your sleep. That is actually, yeah.
Yes, I think I have such a lust for life, because I'm like, oh, I die like 3 times a night. But that being the case, I don't want to burden other people with my own shit. I'm morose. If I'm dealing with too much, I kind of be quiet and go sit in the other room. I'm very that type of energy. And I've had people, what's wrong? No, we should share everything. I'm like, no, I just need to get through this. It'll take me a day. It takes me about a day and a half. If I'm not good in 2 days, come and check on me, and then we can work it out. But,
you can help more later.
But that's kind of how I deal, and I don't want that to be something. And again, that's been something that in the past is, you know, God, you don't share. And I'm like, I do share. I share when it's time to share. I need to shut the fuck up and go be quiet for a minute.
Yeah.
You know, get collected. That's how I operate. I've operated like that the whole time. And other people have their things. They have their things they're going to do that I don't necessarily understand. As you figure them out, some things are acceptable, some things are not. Some things are weird, some things are not. But these are the natures of relationships, and that being the case, learning someone and then learning their shit, that's a process. It is a long process. And again, sometimes you don't make the right decision even though you have all the information. Mom was talking about relationships. Relationships are interesting because when you're in a relationship with someone, it's an 18-month process of learning somebody. It is 6 months of you are just in love with all their shit. It's like you are this, and you wake up and we both like breakfast, and like Richard Simmons died, and we both like Richard Simmons went to work right there.
Yeah.
We do all the cute shit and all the I'm in love with this thing about you, and you're brave when I'm not, and I'm this and that and the other. And then it's 6 months of, but you sure do chew a lot. But and like you don't got no car, and you're wandering, I be wandering too much, and this and that. 6 months of that. And then there's 6 months of you figuring out, can I balance this thing with that thing? Is this worth my time?
Yeah.
Is it worth these things for me to have this thing? And if you're lucky, yes, this is great, and this is like, I can deal with this, you know. But a lot of the times you think you can deal with this, and then after, we'll say another 6 months, you realize, you know what, that's going to be a problem.
Yep. You cannot. In your head, you made different provisions, and those provisions are not being followed.
That's kind of how that works. And you see that a lot with bar people, because bar people are all, by nature, most of them are drinkers, right? But some of us are drinkers, some of us are luscious, and some of us are alcoholics.
Yep.
And a lot of a drinker will be with someone who is secretly an alcoholic.
Yep.
And then a year and a half, you're like, I don't want to stop going to the bar.
And I don't have the problem.
That just becomes a whole nother can of worms. And again, if it's something that one can balance, and there's no judgment to people who are in those type of relationships. If you make it work for you. But I just know for me, I'm doing a lot of work on trying to keep myself maintained and trying to keep my own mentals going well, and keeping myself pleasant, keeping myself mindful and worldful, and able to help my friends and family with kind words and kind thoughts and like novel ideas and these things that I'm wonderful at giving. If I get too distracted by that type of shit, then I become a little old Ebenezer Scrooge who has to be in that room, once a week or twice a week, over there in the corner in the quiet. That's not where I'm trying to get. I don't think that's healthy for me personally. So again, it's just a balance of what you can accept, what you are looking for, and figuring that shit out. And to be honest with you, it's just not that big a priority for me to find all that. I'd rather be making art.
Yeah.
I'd just rather be.
Oh, you have the cutest giggle.